You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self-worth. I'm your host, Chanel Lemire, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self-love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. Hey, beautiful, it's your girl Chanel Lemire back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. I hope you're doing well, or at least trying. I know I am. I gotten a few messages asking where I was and how much you enjoy the episodes, and I want to personally say to you that I've been trying. I honestly believe because all these things are new for me, whether it's the podcast and keeping up with the content for socials, or just being a full-time entrepreneur, and mommy at the same time. It's rewarding and exhausting all in the same breath. But as I continue on discovering me, I'm learning that there's power in the pause. I have to appreciate the progress that I've made. I have to appreciate and acknowledge how far I've come in this moment. And I'm doing a great job. And I want to work harder at consistently bringing my feelings and experiences to share with you. So, with all that being said, as I grow through this journey of making new connections and providing space for Black women to feel safe and seen to tell their stories, I came across a beautiful soul that I met on Clubhouse. And I loved getting to know her more with the conversation, and I just wanted to share with you. So, side note, my audio quality is low as this came straight from Zoom and my computer's mics and all of that. But what matters is the message. And I've been sitting on this convo for way too long. So, take a listen in. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Chanel Lemire, back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. I'm here with another special guest, Miss Jasmine, and I'm ready to pick her brain and talk about all the things. And I'm just so excited. Like every time I just see another Black woman, like I just
be like, I see you, girl.
Like, that's when you can just do you. Like, you can move your shoulders and just move your head, because you get it. Like, no explanation. Of course. I'm at a place downtown Pittsburgh, and I thought it would be a nice area, and it's very loud. So we'll try to cut that out eventually.
I'm so ready.
Let's let this police car go.
Child, because they be hating. They want to start rolling.
I'm gonna leave that in there too.
You be
all right. Who are you, Jasmine, in this moment? And it's like a deep question, like,
So without any titles, well, I mean, my most important one is being a mom. But beyond being a mother, I'm just really honestly a vibrant personality. I'm an outgoing individual. Most of my friends know me as the individual that's generally always open to doing stuff. I can be a person that people like to call on for advice. I'm just that particular person. I feel like I've always been a social butterfly. So, or at least until I came into my own. But I feel like I've always been a social butterfly. So I've always felt comfortable in social settings. I'm usually the one that's always trying to break the ice. I am the organized person out of all my friends as well. I'm the person that's like, girl, come on, we need to be on time. Like, I'm the time person as well. Like, I'm one of them. I'm going to pull up 15 minutes early to your event. I'll probably be the first person at your event. So I would say that's more just kind of like a mix of who I am. But to kind of go back to the vibrant personality, I feel like I've always been an individual that tries to display positivity. I do my best to try to guide with being happy, because a lot of people don't realize that that's very cliche, but most people in this world are generally not happy. And that's something that most people should strive for, is trying to attain true happiness. I feel like I feel like, honestly, if you don't really love on yourself and take care of you, you're never going to really be the best version of yourself. And I feel like people always have so many different things going on that we do forget about ourselves. Life happens. But that's something that I'm huge about with my friends. Like, make sure you take time for yourself. Make sure you do whatever it is you need to do to be happy. If you don't know what that looks like, take some time out to figure that out, because I feel like that's, something that people push aside. And I feel like if you're not fulfilled within your own self, then you can't really function for everyone else. So that's me.
Yeah. So you're basically the strong friend, huh?
I try to be, but and it's people say check on your strong friends, because I have my moments as well. But I try to be that strong individual. I feel like a lot of people do sometimes lean on me, and it's fine, you know what I'm saying? Because everyone's raised different, everyone comes from different backgrounds, everyone has their own different strengths and weaknesses. So, everyone's gonna have that crazy friend, that friend that you can call on for everything, the friend that's gonna be ride or die. You're gonna have a friend that's goofy and always playing. So it's so many different elements of an individual. But yeah, if I could say, yeah, I try to be the strong friend. My heart is I do that.
Yeah, and I like that you said, like, I think that's different when you say that I try to be the strong friend. Usually people don't like being in that category for real. I mean, they enjoy it, but then like when you actually tell them like, that that's part of like their title, they're like, "Wow, I never really thought about that." But then in terms of strong friends, we got to remember that like you just said, you got to check on your strong friends, because technically I'm the strong friend too. People think I got it all together and I don't. Like, I need to get checked on too. Like, but I guess we just wear it like, a certain way, but like we still need to get checked on also. So I'm enjoying that Black women are we're starting to lift each other up. We're starting to talk about emotions and talk about mental health. I got a whole psychology degree background that I'm finally able to use now, because they wasn't giving you that kind of money. Like, if you was in psychology, oh, what mental health? Like, what?
That part,
I leave that field and do some other stuff, because I couldn't afford being out on my own and having a kid and all these different things, like, and still trying to be strong and stuff. So I had to figure it out. So I definitely love what you said. And now that you talked about being a mom and all your other titles, I wanted to touch a little deeper on that. So just talking about your different titles, and then I definitely want you to share a little bit about your life, like your personal life journey, on how you transitioned into motherhood and into the roles that you have. You know what I mean? Like, it's always kind of a struggle to get there. Like, we had to grow through certain obstacles and tribulations and trials and all of those things to get to where we are at. So I just wanted to see if you're able to just share a little bit of the behind the scenes, like a little bit of your personal life journey on how you got to this point.
Being the strong friend, I don't really feel that I found who I was until probably after high school. I don't really think I knew who I was until after high school. And I had to attribute one of my best friends. We stayed together for about 2.5 years. And I feel like she taught me a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my communication when we stayed together, because me and her had to understand that we don't communicate the same way. I learned a lot being that time, because I was single child. That was a journey in itself. But I feel like growing up, I've come from a big, huge background, family oriented. I come from a lot of love. So I always knew how to love who I was. But as far as just kind of figuring out how to display that individually, sometimes it was a little hard. Like, I can remember being really sensitive before I started middle school, crying about the wrong things and, just doing too much. And I remember one of my older cousins, and he's like a brother to me to this day. He pulled me aside, like, before I started middle school. He was like, "You have to stop this." He was like, you have to not be concerned about what people feel, and not be concerned about what they're going to say about you. You have to always be you. And I held on to those particular words. And crazy as it is, I met two of my best friends in middle school. And I feel like at that time, I kind of was, trying to figure out how to, wear the right clothes and, how to, enjoy my body that I was in. And I don't really think I really came into it, I feel like, until after high school. I was always a good person to talk to in high school. I, met more people. I was always good with knowing everyone. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be in the popular in crowd, but I always knew people. I always tried to be as good as I was with my close friends to anyone that I knew. So, but again, I kind of feel like just the jazzed up piece of me didn't really come until after I was out of high school. I feel like when you have time to yourself, you kind of start to kind of figure out, who am I? Why am I trying to be like everyone else? Why won't I just be myself? Because I feel like when you're authentically you, people attract to you more so. People will always remember that about you. People will never forget that. And you can't, that's one thing you can't say. You can say a lot of things, but you can't ever take away someone being a good person and being pure hearted. So from that, I feel like discovering myself, ups and downs of being single. The person that I'm with now, my boyfriend, man, we're high school sweethearts. We've been on and off for quite some time, and we've been back together now for almost 3 years. And of course, in 2019, that's when I got pregnant, when we first got back together, and of course, had my son. The balance of becoming a mother, it's definitely an adjustment. I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything in this world. Wouldn't trade it for anything in this world. But it is a balance. And I think I started to figure out the balance of being a friend, a mother, and a girlfriend. There's different things that you have to put into each of those categories. And I learned that I was like, man, I'm getting pulled in different directions, and, trying to make sure that you're giving up in your relationship, and trying to make sure that you're giving up to your friends so they don't feel that you're leaving them behind. Or even not even leaving them behind, just making sure that they know that you're still here. You know what I'm saying? And then being a mother, trying to make sure that I'm showing up, but at the same time showing up, I'm learning. So, I feel like, us women, we sometimes can take on the strong title because that's just what we know. That's just what's been provided and what's been shown to us, that you're going to be all right, girl, you got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I do feel like you do sometimes have to kind of take a back seat and just kind of gather yourself in a sense. Because I know for sure that's something that's been my word ever since I became my balance, because I'm just like, man, this is different. This is something that I didn't expect. You have it in your mind and you envision how you feel things are going to go, but it's not always how it's going to go. But I would say that transition from high school up till now, like I said, really just balance, honestly. And I feel like people have to be transparent about that, because if you're not transparent about it, as you're going through the journey, you'll feel like you're by yourself. But I'm pretty much sure if you ask any other mom or any person that's just a Black woman, you'll probably get some of the same answers. Like, girl, man, I had this going on and this going on. And man, I was trying to manage this and manage that. And, as long as you take time for yourself, I feel like you'll be fine as you go through transitions in life, I feel like. And I feel like I'm still going to learn more even to go, because life has its levels. And as you level up and continue moving.
I like that. Life has its levels.
Yeah, it's going to be more added things that are going to come on, and it's going to be more shifts, more things that you position yourself into, that you just got to be ready for it, So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, for sure. It definitely answered my question. I had some notes to come back at you with. So I love how, I feel like this, just having you on the show, there was a purpose behind it, because like you being a mom and trying to figure out how to balance, and I'm doing the same thing, trying to figure out how to balance being a mom. And I'm a mom of 2 now, like totally different. I had a son. Well, I have a son who's 5, and now I have a little girl who's 1, so it's totally different. I feel like I'm a new mom all over again, but then I'm still on the single side, because life has its levels, and you're going to continue to get challenged until you do something different so that you can have a different outcome. So I had to learn, a little harder. Because like I got 2 babies out of the deal, and as long as we ain't even gonna talk about that.
All right.
Just being you. And I like how you knew exactly like where the turning point came for you. I think for middle school is definitely hard for just Black women in general, because that's where the bullying happens, and you're trying to fit in and you don't know who you are, so you're trying to fit in with the right crowd. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was always the short one. I remember like just talking to my mom like, I can't wait till I grow up, like I can't wait. And it never happened. Like everybody else just started getting taller, like whatever. Like, so that was the only thing that they kind of had on me. And they're gonna pick at you because I was pretty. They're like, oh yeah, she's small, all the little boys like me, oh she's small as hell. And back then I'm like no, but once I got to high school, I like all of that was just, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be me. And I love how you said, be you and not be concerned about other people. And that's what I had to do in high school. And a lot of people didn't like me. I was on a dance team and hung out with my cousins, my boy cousins and their friends. So they're like, who's this girl? Like around my boyfriend, like nobody care about them. Like, but yeah, definitely that. And then just making time for yourself to figure out who you are. And I was talking with another lady about that. I was always in relationships, and I'm realizing now that it's a lot of childhood trauma, that I was attaching myself onto somebody to see if they can love me more than I love myself, basically, because I saw how my mom looked and reached out to other people to love them. I mean, to love her, to get that, that reassurance, I guess. So in walking this journey, trying to not be like her, I end up being just like her. I was always in the relationships. So once I had my son, and I realized that I didn't want to be in that relationship anymore because I was losing who I was, walking on eggshells and not happy. I'm the nicest person, so if I'm questioning myself and not wanting to come home, and like I got to get myself out of that. And just being in the mental health field, I knew the necessary steps that I had to do, but at first it was acknowledging that and then accepting that this is what was going to happen, because I had my life set out. Like I thought I was, I got the college degree, I got the house, I was engaged for real. Like, so I thought I was doing everything right, but here I am in a situation where I'm unhappy and I feel like I'm stuck and trapped. And my son was 6 months and I had to get myself out of that situation, to be me so that I can be me. And then that's when I sat and I was alone. And that's when I found myself and actually realized who I was and what I wanted out of life, who I was beyond being a mom and all of those things. So I definitely agree with you. And I'm so happy that you shared that with everyone on just figuring out who you are, because it's so important. It's so important. Once you figure that out, then you can walk this world knowing who you are, and then everything else will be like you'll attract what you need because
that's right,
who you are. And then you're talking about balance. Like I'm definitely trying to balance everything, but now I've been using a word in harmony, because like it's kind of hard to balance, like, being a mom and being a business owner, and I ain't no girlfriend right now. Like I had the choice, but like it gotta be right,
Exactly, as it should.
Yeah, so like just harmony, like, sometimes being a mom might just stand out a little more at the moment, because I really enjoy that. And I'm happy that you said that you really love being a mom. So that's where we're going to be connecting more.
Yes.
Like, being a mom might stand out a little more in the moment. And then like right now, like my kids are away. So I'm able to bring out being an entrepreneur. So trying to perfect that, but just knowing that all of them together, like as long as they're in like perfect harmony with one another, like then that's the perfect ingredient of like, figuring out and knowing who you are. You know what I mean? And I say exactly what I mean a lot. I was looking at my past videos. So Yes. To get to the next question, what pushed you to become a virtual assistant and like, social media? Like, how did your why bring you onto that path?
So crazy part about it is I never envisioned being a business owner. I'm gonna be real with you. Like when I was in school before, I had so many different things I wanted to be from. I can remember telling my mom I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Me
Then
too.
I can remember saying, "Oh, I could be a lawyer." Ah, it's gonna take too long for school. I don't want to do that. Then I remember going to school, doing medical billing and doing phlebotomy. I've done all these different things, but I still couldn't like really stick to it. And then originally I launched my first business last year as a boutique owner. I was super excited, did research, was amped up, but nervous. Like, man, how am I going to be viewed as a business owner? Am I going to be accepted? Like, how is the launch going to go? That type of thing. And it didn't turn around how I wanted it to. Financially, it didn't. And I remember, taking some time out, deciding, okay, I can't participate in the fall and winter season because I launched in the summer. So I remember taking a step back, like, okay, financially, I didn't get the turnaround. I can't really put back and decide and buy inventory and get ready to prep for a whole nother winter launch to see people, buy and, invest. But I had to kind of take some time to kind of go back and be like, do you really want to be a boutique owner? Is this really what you want to do? And that's when I had to realize, no, it wasn't. I think I was trying to like box myself in with trying to, okay, I can be a business owner. I love, earrings. I love head wraps, but I'm not a big person on fashion. It's not my knack. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I kind of realized, what can you do? Like, what else can you do? Because I feel like I've been uncomfortable for years. For at least the last 3 or 4 years, I can remember having several different conversations with friends of mine. Like, man, this can't be it. Just, working. I mean, hey, this is not to shade anyone that works corporate world, moves up the ladder. But I just had to realize it just wasn't for me. I was like, this just can't be it. I have to be able to do something else. I have so much to give. Like, I'm such a great person. And I feel like I have, a little bit of something. And literally, I've been seeing virtual assistant everywhere. And I had to remember back in 2018, I helped a friend of mine. Her name is Michelle Washington. And she has so many different businesses, child. When I knew her because we went to school together. She's a little bit younger than me, a couple years younger than me. But she's a successful business owner. She has a co-working space. And she also doubled down in the space at that time for brunches that she used to host every Sunday. You could also book the events for weddings, baby showers, all of that. At the time, she was expanding into a whole nother building. She wanted to open up 2 different buildings because she needed more space. And at the time, she was like, I really need help. I really need someone to kind of be on the back end to make sure I don't miss any messages, make sure I'm staying on top of my calendar. She gave me posts that she already put together. Everything had her hashtags and all that. And she just wants to make sure that they got posted, make sure that nothing went wrong with them being posted. And at the time, didn't realize that's what a virtual assistant was. Had no clue what it was. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna come work part-time, pick up a little extra coin while I got my 9 to 5. Wasn't even thinking nothing of it. So here recently, fast forward to 2021, I'm browsing, I'm seeing virtual assistant everywhere on TikTok. I'm like, what is this? So there's a girl, her name is Keish. She's on Facebook as Keish Doctor, and she went viral on TikTok. She made a post saying, thinking about being a virtual assistant, fast forward, makes $5,000 a month. And I remember commenting on the post when it was only 11 comments. Mm-hmm. Came back a couple of days later, she went viral. Everyone's in the comments asking, what's a virtual assistant? How do I get started? What do I do? All this jazz. And then she created a Virtual Dreams Facebook group to where it's aspiring VAs in there. When we first started, it was 200 people when I first got into the group. Now it's like 1,600 VAs. People that have come over that are just wanting to know, man, how can I get out of either working in the corporate world and all of that? So ever since then, it took off. And I feel like when you're passionate about something, things come to you naturally.
It does.
Things even out, you become very filled with joy. And ever since January, I just took off. Like from putting together my business IG, meeting so many people. I've been on Clubhouse. That's how we met. That's how we met. Networking like crazy. And I've just been filled with this creative energy. Like, this is it. Like, this is what I should do. I've gotten so much, just great just great responses for people when I meet them, and they love my energy and don't even know me, haven't even met me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got into the world. And I'm getting ready to kind of slow down on the social media side of things, because most of my expertise is on administrative, because virtual assistants have many different layers. You can be an administrative assistant, you can be a social media manager, but being a social media manager even has even more levels to it. It's got different layers. And then what if you're niche down? Like, do you only work with certain business owners? Like, do you only want to work with photographers or real estate? You know what I'm saying? So it has so many different levels, and it just depends on what you want to do, what you feel your expertise is, and what you can offer this business. But the biggest thing is making an impact to help this business reclaim their time, help this business owner get back on track, help them scale, help them expand their business more, because you're helping them out on the back end. So that's how I got into it. And that's what's been my entrepreneurial journey so far.
Well, I on the back end, I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you because I need a virtual assistant. All these things that's been going on and trying to keep up, like so we'll talk. We'll definitely talk. So I love how you just broke it down on how you got to where you are, and how it was always a passion. You just didn't have the title for it. Now they have a title for that. So that is just love. So just in thinking of your reflection of your journey now, how do you think that it aligns with, let me see. I'm trying to figure out this this question. Like, when you think about, like, do you have any reflections on your journey on how you got to this point? Like, like those certain things in your life may have had to happen for you to get to where you are right now. Just like, as a reflection, like, as I look back, I know that I had to get through this, or I had to grow through this particular thing in order to get me through that door to where I'm at now. Like, does that kind of make sense a little bit, or
kind of, in a sense? A lot of people go through different things. I'm not gonna ever be like, girl, listen, this is what I went through from the bottom up type situation. I never experienced that specifically. But I do feel like whatever you have a knack and a passion for, hold on to that, because that's what helps you to figure out your best place for things. I feel like I've always been very helpful and always a nurturer in my own right. So I feel like becoming a virtual assistant was where it needed to be anyway, because this is what I love to do. I get joy from helping people. And, sometimes that might not be the title for a person. It could be a social worker. It could be someone who becomes a doctor. Everyone has different traits when I would say being helpful. But I feel like, really honestly, once you figure out who you are, I feel like that's how you kind of know the best way to kind of move in life, I would say. I feel like a lot of things we try to either define ourselves based on society, or, that's what I'm going to say, based on society. You kind of try to fit into this box or be like everyone else. You don't have to do that. You can literally authentically be yourself. And honestly, like I said, if you don't really know you, take some time out to yourself to really figure out what you love. Are you only being a certain version of yourself for everyone? Do you feel like you're only on surface with individuals? Because I sometimes feel like people hide that too. Like, when you're a kid and when you have fun and you're doing all these different things, that's you. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people kind of push that to the side as they get older, as they experience different things. And it's sad to say, pain and trauma does help and mold and define who you are. So someone else may sit, in front of this podcast and talk to you and may have a different response, because no, we don't like going to those type of things, but those things do help mold you into who you are. They do help shape you, but it is the insight and the mindset that's key behind it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to let your past experiences determine who you are, but I will say, whatever you've experienced, what you do with it is what's key. And that is something that I have consistently told people to make sure that you pay attention to. Whatever you experience, whatever you go through, take a step to be like, okay, yes, this is a lesson, but I don't have to hold on to it. I may have gotten really hurt really badly in a relationship. I don't have to hold on to that. It was that. I know I don't want to deal with it anymore. I know I'm not going to. move forward. If you lost anything or experienced something, that was what it is. Basically, in a nutshell, you are not your circumstance. You're just not. So I feel like when you figure that part out, I feel like you'll figure out you. Because I feel like it's very key for a person to know who you are, because you're not going to know how to be in a relationship. You're not going to know how to be in a friendship, business. It's so many different things that I could say about that. But I hope that's answering the question, because no, I haven't went through anything just treacherous. No, but I will say
that you
yeah.
and that is good. So we can just skip to the question on, I mean, you already were starting to do this, like on your advice to other Black women out there. I know the first thing that you said, and the big thing that I took away from that is knowing and starting out of knowing who you are. So do you have any other advice that you would like to give any of the women listening?
Listen, enjoy life. You only get one life. I feel like the pandemic should definitely have shown a lot of people that. I went through so much loss last year within my own family, and it was just more like a extra like push, in a sense. It wasn't what I wanted, no, you know what I'm saying, but it was an extra push, kind of to say, hey, kind of to come full circle, in a sense, that life can be gone in just a second. So take the time out to do whatever it is you want to do for yourself. Don't feel like you have to box yourself into anything. You know what I'm saying? If there's something that you want to do, go do it. If you're going to do it, you might be scared. You might be afraid, but do it scared.
Yes.
It's something that I've been holding on to ever since I've been becoming a VA. It's a quote that I stumbled upon one day that said, don't let the absence of failure excuse me, let me make sure I'm saying it right. Don't let the absence of failure scare you. Right. Don't let the absence of failure scare you. Let the, I'm not remembering correctly right now, but either or, it's in a sense of don't let, basically fear failure, but more so you should fear progress, in a sense. So yeah, you're going to be scared. Yeah, you may fail, but keep moving. Mm-hmm. Keep doing things. Because at the end of the day, you're never going to know if you can accomplish something if you don't do anything. Exactly. If you just sit back and be like, I can't do it, that's not doing anything for you. You have no clue until you make a move and until you decide. So for me, I would just say, whatever it is that you want to do in this life, find it. If you don't know what that is, take some time out to yourself to figure it out, because everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves to get to wherever that is, whatever that like pedestal, that peak of being happy is, get to it. It could be a mixture of, everyone wants to get married and be in love and being happy, and either whatever that may be, keep going after that, but just make sure that you take care of yourself too, because it's just very easy to kind of push yourself aside. So that would be my only give to women as well.
Okay, like I love it, and it needs to be, like women need to hear that, like you never know who listening needed to hear exactly what you were saying. So I love your share. And just one last question, when you think about the title of the show, like what does that mean to you? What does What She Grows Through mean to you?
As you go through whatever it is you experience in life, are you taking anything from it? Is that helping you, motivate to be better? Because like I said before, you go through many different things. There's something else that I saw that I wanted to get it tattooed on me. I did. Lord Jesus, life is a beautiful struggle. It really is. Because there's elements of it that you really definitely enjoy, but there are also elements where you're like, Lord, what is going on? What is this? Like, why am I going through this? You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. Everything is meant to be how it's going to be, no matter how it comes to pass. There's always a reason, and there's always going to be something that you can learn from it. So, What She Grows, I feel like it's definitely good, because a lot of women sometimes don't understand that what they're going through is going to be a blessing or going to be a story for someone else. So that's what I would say that it meant to me, like, coming on, and then another Black woman spotlighting it. That's my biggest thing, because we all have spaces that we can create for each other, and being a woman of color, sometimes those spaces aren't always provided, so we have to continue to create spaces and continue to talk with each other, continue to uplift and empower each other, because as we know, when we're together, we're stronger together. We are.
Exactly.
So
yes, yeah. We are. And we can drop off like that. Yes, because we are stronger. You do it with me. We are stronger.
We are stronger together. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I love that. See, listen, I'm so happy that you came on the show, and I felt like, we were just homegirl vibing. Like it was easy. Like I mean, like that went bad.
Yeah, girl, I'm just one of them people. I never want anyone to be uncomfortable with talking to me. For me, yeah, I'm nervous because I feel like anything public speaking or talking or when you're in front of a camera, don't get me wrong. Listen, I got asked to speak on at a conference years ago. This is before I got pregnant, and I remember going like, yeah, I can do this. And I remember sitting down and putting together what I was gonna say. It was so hard. I was like, why am I having such a hard time putting together what but I think I started getting nervous. Like, I know I can be me, but are these people at this conference gonna love me? You know what I'm saying? And it was hard to kind of put it in words and like write out like, okay, this is my flow of how I'm gonna talk to these people. It was like difficult, but something that I have been also learning here recently is as a business owner and entrepreneur, you're gonna be in many spaces to always talk. So you have to get up and you have to talk. You never know if you're going to be standing beside someone one day that wants to invest in you, or not even invest in you, someone who wants to collaborate, and it could be something monumental. So get used to being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah, show up for yourself. And, at the end of the day, everyone's not religious, but, for me, God puts us in uncomfortable spaces because that's how we grow. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like a picture of like a fish in this jar, and it looked like the water was falling off, like it was stuffed. And sometimes you do have to be put in those spots because that's when you have to figure out, okay, I may be uncomfortable, but why? Why am I uncomfortable? Am I uncomfortable because I don't want to grow, or am I uncomfortable just because this is something new?
Yeah,
but you never know.
Basically,
figuring it out. Yeah. So that's something that I've been noticing. I've been nervous transitioning over into this because I went from one business to another. So I'm like, okay, listen, you ain't finna change this again now. You gonna do this right and you gonna pull this off. You know what I'm saying? But it's you gotta know how to get uncomfortable to grow. Because I feel like, when he's ready to bless you.
Comfortable.
Yes. And at the end of the day, when he's ready for you to get to that space, he knows exactly what he's doing. And the only way that he's going to bless you is if you trust in the process. You have to trust in where it's going to take you and how your journey is going to take you. So I've been just trusting in them, girl, and keeping on moving and doing whatever I can. Even if I get staggered with doing something, I'm like, no, don't get scared. Like, keep going. Mm-hmm. And the more and more that I've met people, even you, like, I just feel so full, just so full. You know what I'm saying? And I just, great. Great.
I know you're gonna make me emotional because, like,
I know I want to stop. I'm like, girl,
I have so many. Like, where are you from?
Okay, so I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas, but I was raised here in Dallas. So that's why I said now.
So you're in Texas. Like, listen, like I got friends in Texas. Like, I'm international.
Lone Star State.
Like.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of the What She Goes Through podcast, where my girl Jasmine drops so many gems. I don't know about you, beautiful, but it's so dope to know that the thoughts that you had in your mind align with other women. It just proves that we're all connected for real. And if you like this episode, please rate 5 stars on Apple Podcasts to help other Black women find us. And if you would like to come on and tell your story, to share and connect, please reach out to me on my Instagram account at What She Grows Through, or you can reach out through email, and it's at whatshegirlsthrough@gmail.com. We don't got our email yet, but it's coming. So listen, beautiful, this website is no joke, but I'm actively working on it and setting up a newsletter for us to get to know each other more. It's going to be so dope. Also, head over to YouTube at What She Grows Through to subscribe and get those visuals of the episodes. And yeah, we're doing it slowly, but moving forward. And it was all because of you. the downloads, the messages, the shares. I'm just forever grateful for you. And I look forward to speaking with you again. Until then.